Hey, Dr. Mike here. Today I want to discuss a little bit about the silent things that occur after an adjustment. Meaning the subtle things that your body goes through that you may not actually feel after you get a spinal adjustment. One of the things that I think most of us are unaware of is, as time goes on, the imbalances that exist have existed sometimes for decades. And these imbalances will eventually start to drain the nerve system of its energy. Some of you who've had spinal problems have heard the term spinal stenosis. Well, spinal stenosis is just a medical term that means the hole where the nerve comes out is getting smaller. And that's an acquired condition. It's not necessarily a genetic one. There are genetic predispositions to that, but most of the time it happens as a result of an imbalance that has led to degeneration or arthritis of the spine. The holes get smaller, the nerves get compromised, and we start to feel less and less energy. Sometimes we eventually develop pain, and pain is what usually drives people into my office. We always try to catch it before it gets that bad, but sometimes it's been decades, like I said, of imbalance. And when we talk about imbalance, we're talking about a misalignment of either one or more vertebrae in your spine. It'll affect the nerve system eventually and cause it to decrease its outflow. So a couple of things that I have written down here on the silent effects of the adjustment is that when you get adjusted and your spine is moving better and better aligned, your nerve flow is better. I talked about it in an earlier video that we did, that the speed of life, or the amplitude speed from brain to body, in other words, how fast your brain can transmit messages to your body, is 393 feet per second. That's fast. When your spine is compromised, it's not quite that fast. So when we adjust, we increase nerve flow. We increase not only nerve flow out from the brain to the body, but we also increase afferent flow. Afferent means from the body back to the brain. Very powerful. Second thing I want to talk about is the increase in function. When your nerve system is working well, when the speed and amplitude of the nerve force is ideal and the way it was intended to be, the body works better. So I had a woman in earlier today who has some asthma, and we were talking about how when you get adjusted, it affects the dorsal nerve roots that carry messages to the lungs. We're going to talk about that a little later, but better function is a secondary effect of an adjustment. Sometimes we don't feel that right away. We don't notice that our digestion's improved or our premenstrual syndrome is not as bad as it once was. But what happens typically after you get adjusted over a period of time, the nerve starts to work better, therefore the body functions better. Another thing that we just kind of touched on was the rebalancing of the autonomic nerves. What the autonomic nerve system is, it's the part of your nerve system that carries messages to your organs and systems, the part we don't have to think about. So the autonomic nerve system has two components. It has the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight, and the parasympathetic. And so those two need to be in balance. If they're in balance, everything works better. The one great thing about spinal adjustments through chiropractic is that it helps rebalance and it helps to stabilize sympathetic distribution from brain to body. Because all the dorsal nerve roots that come out of the spine, they're all sympathetic distribution nerve roots that go to organs and systems. So when we adjust you and we create better flow of nerve system, the rebalancing of the whole autonomic nerve system occurs, and that's a real blessing, and sometimes it's not felt immediately. And the last thing I want to talk about is a new research study that came out of the American Chiropractic magazine. Dr. Evan Katz out of Colorado, he and his wife have done this amazing research study, which sounds very promising, with circulation. In other words, they did some studies with MRAs and MRIs of the cervical curve. So we talk about this as the curve of life here. If a person's facing to my right or your left, this curve, the curve of the neck, is supposed to go forward. And what Dr. Katz and his wife found out is that when you lose this curve, you restrict the blood flow to and from your brain. And so that makes sense, because think about it this way. Nowadays, we talk about the neuroendocrine system. We talk about the neuroimmune system. We talk about the neurovascular system. Well, the neuro is the nerve system component. That means the nerve system controls the vascular system. The nerve system controls the immune system. The nerve system controls the endocrine and the hormonal system. It controls it, and if it's out of balance, it will create blood flow problems. So Dr. Katz found that when the curve was restored, blood flow to the brain improved. And that's really fascinating, because now with the advent of Alzheimer's and senile dementia and all kinds of cognitive problems, not just in our seniors, but in a lot of young people too. We're very excited about sharing that with our folks. So I hope that helps. I hope you're getting your chiropractic adjustments. If you're not, we're here. Just give us a call. We're happy to answer any questions or take care of you and your family. Stay informed and get adjusted.